Hello and welcome, this is Rooflemonger, and we have had another developer stream, this time showcasing Android 17. So we now know quite a bit more about how his moveset in general works, and we're just going to start at the start here, because I know everyone wants to know what's the assist, and hey, here it is. So as you can see here, he does a barrier very similar to Android 18 and then does a blast. So this blast is not optional, you cannot strictly only do the barrier, just so you know. So it'll always be the barrier followed by the blast. Now the barrier, it works just like you think it does. It is a barrier, it can absolutely absorb attacks as well. Also, as shown here, its delayed properties also can lead to kind of some interesting mix-up follow-ups, as you just saw right there. Now, the assist stuff mentioned, let's just talk about everything else. Right here, you're seeing some basic attacks into his command, a rush into Rekka choices, which we'll talk a lot more about later, into his grounded level 1. And you see here, it's a bit of a cinematic. Now, this actually might have some issues with certain DHC combos, just like Goku Black does. Time will tell, but just as a heads up. So now let's show off this little Rekka series here. So, command dash into the hit. And now we can choose a follow-up, and now this is an overhead, so you have to block standing, and this is a low, and we can greatly vary it up from there. Now also, on top of the forward dash, we have a back step option. So you see here, it does a little bit of a backward step, and then starts with the same Rekka option here. So that is also a thing we have to work with. Here, seemingly as simple if you do the starting version of the Rekka here, and have no follow-up. As we can see here, the EX version of the command step is a side switching move, so it will go past the foe and go on the other side, so you will have to block accordingly. Now, what makes this all very truly dangerous is, as you see here, we got a lot of follow-ups. It's not just the one punch, right? As you see here, we have a different striking punch, and also we have a command short hop here as well. Herein lies some of the hard to see stuff, because you can either go for that overhead that we showed earlier, or you can do this little short hop and go right into a low, leading some very tricky stuff to determine visually. You also have some choice in the order they play out, so here we do the first hit right into that overhead. You are also allowed to special cancel, so you see here he's canceling into the EX version of his shield special move, so it'll become a combo. Also showing how freeform your choices are after the command step, you can also start with a low, so it doesn't always have to be the same punch startup. You have some choices in the matter. And yes, since you did start with the low, you can also absolutely start with the overhead, leading to some truly tricky mix-up options. And now onto the wall dives. You could say Vega, you could say Black Panther. There's a lot of characters that have moves like this in fighting games, and this is Android 17's version. So he can choose which wall he goes to. He can choose the left wall, the right wall, whichever, it doesn't really matter. He has complete choice in the matter. Now, once you are off the wall, for all intents and purposes, just basically a jump. So shown here, you can do a basic key blast, so you're not automatically going to get down heavy, just so you know. You're not down heavy bait for free, right? But also in the next one here, it just shows a regular, I'm assuming a jumping medium off the wall. You can do anything you can in a regular jump. Now, next up is two special moves. What we have here first is the charge. So he has to charge first, which this does have an active hitbox. And then once he has this charge, he is then allowed to throw a pair of projectiles out, which are seemingly real projectiles. You can homing dash through them. Now this move is also air okay. Now here at the end of the projectile, you see he kind of slipped down to the ground, somewhat similar to adult Gohan. Now this is actually mandatory as far as I can tell, and it doesn't matter if he does it off the ground, doesn't matter if he does it in the air, he will always go right quickly to the ground. Now also, Android 17 has an aerial super, a level 1, that was not shown in the trailer, and that's that right there. So he hits you with a barrier, kind of forms a barrier, and he hits you with a absolutely kind of devastating looking punch. He looks pretty cheesed off here. So the barrier comes up, gives you a quick little smack, and then yeah, he don't look like a nice guy here, and he just gives you a big old wind up punch. So this is a seemingly air only level 1 super. Now, going back quickly to the Rekka, if you didn't believe in the mix-up potential wackiness here, we see the overhead special canceling into the wall dive, meaning we got all sorts of craziness that's just going to be possible at 17. For those of you who are fans of slides, hey, 17 has one. So this looks to be a command slide. As we see right here, this is light, light, medium, crouch, medium, and then we still get the slide. And then it goes into stand heavy. So this leaves me to believe this is a command slide. Could be wrong though. Here we can see that not only does Android 17 have a down heavy that launches in the air, his level 3 basically hits the full screen. You can see here that's all one giant hitbox, and it hits from one end of the screen to the other. So in terms of eating space, it's really, really good. And if all this other stuff wasn't enough to sell you, his dash into palm is an anti-air move, meaning it is invincible to air attacks. So that's pretty handy. And there you have it. So that's everything I could personally glimmer from the developer stream. So as it stands, he's going to be an incredibly mix-up base character. Some people took umbrage with my term of gimmicks in the trailer breakdown, but honestly, hey, now that's all in front of you. We got a command step that can do high overheads, it can do lows, it can do fake overheads into bringing you back down low into all this wall dive gimmicks you're seeing here. And I use the term gimmicks again. I just can't help it. And when I say this once again, I don't mean this in a derogatory term, but he's going to be an incredibly tricky character to deal with. So if you like mix-ups, there seems to be few better choices out there than 17. Now, he will basically have to have an assist to kind of really get going, because there's no way there's not a lot of gaps in a lot of that command step into, you know, high, low, whatever stuff. So you got to keep that in mind. I think you really got to build a specific team in mind if you're going to use them. But, you know, hey, I guess that's a lot of characters, right? But what he isn't is definitely going to be a reliable anchor, at least in my opinion. So for you guys, you know, you still run Goku, you still run Vegeta in your anchor position. Hey, that's not going to change. He definitely reads as an upfront character to me. So yeah, that'll be it for this video. So hopefully it should not be much longer until the character is released for both Android 17 and Cooler. And hopefully this video with the information contained within helps slake your thirst just a little bit, because I know we're all hype and we all want to see these characters very badly, right? Anyways, that's it for this video. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Dragon Ball.